today we're going to do we're going to start this session off with a 5-minute meditation. So just do a small minute meditation. We do a small minute meditation. This is 5-minute meditations, but they're going to be small minutes. So I don't know why I said that. It's funny. So just a short meditation, 5 minutes, and then after that 5 minutes, I'm just going to take a few moments to discuss some larger topic that I'll tell you about in a little bit. But so let's start with a meditation. And so we're going to ground the sit bones, stack the spine. Let me get my timer set. My timer ready. No timer over there. Yeah, somewhere right on my cushion. On my cushion, you see that? Okay. All right, so let's ground the sit bones, stack the spine, close the eyes. Sit up nice and tall. And think about our days like we get up in the morning and it's like a small snowball at the very top of the mountain, and we start our day and that snowball slowly rolls over the edge and then slowly rolls, and as it rolls it starts to pick up more and more. As it picks up, it gets bigger and bigger, and that's kind of what our minds do throughout the day, right? We start our mornings fresh and clear, and then as the day builds, we collect things in our minds. A lot of times it's just things that aren't going to serve us in the moment. Meditation, especially if you take a moment in the midday to get still, meditation is like melting that snowball down to its original size and then starting at the top again, or maybe halfway down the mountain. At this point, it's halfway through the day. So we'll focus on our breath. We'll allow this time to help us get clear and steady. We'll use some breathing patterns to coalesce our minds. Exhale the breath. Inhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 5. Hold for 5. Exhale for 5. Inhale 5. Hold for 5. Exhale for 5. Inhale 5. Hold for 5. Exhale for 5. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Inhale. Continue on your own. Holding for 5 at the top. And exhaling for 5. And decide if you want to build it and go to 6 or 7 or 8. Or if 5 feels like it's too much, do less. Inhaling, holding, and exhaling all of equal length. Take a long inhale. And a long exhale. All righty. So what I want to discuss today is going to be a little bit on the movement side, on the physical side, but I also wanted to give you guys an experience of meditation, give you guys a moment of like, okay, let me at least get a 5-minute meditation in. So what I want to discuss is a component of movement that we're going to deep dive into in the 5-day immersion that's coming up. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, we have a 5-day immersion coming up. It's going to start on Monday, and we're going to take it all the way through 5 days. So that's what, Friday? So Monday to Friday, 5 days, we're going to deep diving into the truth about yoga. And all of days we're opening the book and we're going to teach our faces off and teach you guys the most important, the most potent, the most incredible information that we've gained over the couple decades that Chris and I have been doing this. So so it's going to be awesome. We're going to deep dive into the 3 main aspects of the practice and the realization that most people just spend time in one aspect of it and don't ever get to these other levels that really have the power to transform your life. So if you're interested in joining us for that, definitely do it. It's in the Facebook group. There's a link somewhere around here. So if you haven't registered, you got to register for it. We got to get everyone to register. So even if you're in the Facebook group, even if you're in the Facebook group, click the link to register. Make sure you register and get in because it's going to be awesome. But what I want to talk about today, and I'll try not to spend too much time doing it, but keep you guys for a long time. But what I want to talk about today is a principle called tension versus compression. When Chris has a great story of this, so I'm going to tell his story. When he went to training, when he went to his teacher training, he remember seeing a woman that had this crazy back bend, right? And she had a real flexible spine is really what it came down to. But he was watching her, and she was doing a standing back bend, and she had her hands in position, and she was coming up and going whoa, way back, and then held it like really far back. So like her fingers were pointing almost down towards the floor, and she was just like whoosh, and then with strength and grace came back up, and he was like, whoa, that's amazing. I want to do that. And so he went into, and he was physical. We'd been practicing martial arts, been doing a lot of things, been practicing yoga for really consistent up to that point. And so he was like, I'm going to do what she did. And he went into the back bend. And then he got to a point and he felt stuck. He felt like, I feel a little stuck here. But I'm not as deep. I know I don't look like that woman, so I'll just push into it and go past it. He ended up pushing past it, tweaking some of the soft tissue in his spine, probably compressed the disc a little bit, and just kinked his back, right? Threw his back out. He, for the next week or however long, he had back injury. So he hurt himself. And so this is so tension versus compression. So this is the idea of tension compression is understanding that the body and all the major joints of the body have a range of motion that at some point we will bump up against. So they all have range of motion, right? Tension versus compression is the uniqueness of our bodies. And so in the practice, in the physical practice, we're the same, and there's components of us that are the same, and then we're unique. Tension versus compression is the uniqueness of our bodies. And one of the best ways I think I can show this is simply is using my arm, right? So using the elbow. So if you take a look at my elbow, and if I'm just the elbow joint here, right? If I take my arm out, at some point, I'm going to hit either tension or compression. And what I mean by that is, when I do this, if I hit tension, I'm going to feel it here, right? I'll feel it in the bicep brachii and the muscles here. I'll feel it as restriction in the soft tissue. If, let's say I was a bodybuilder and I'd love to do curls, or I had an injury to my bicep and I go to straighten my arm, at some point that tension in the soft tissue is going to limit me from being able to straighten my arm. So I go into a yoga class, I heal the soft tissue, I open it up, and this feels amazing. It feels amazing. It feels amazing. It feels amazing. I'm getting release and opening through that soft tissue, and all of a sudden my arm can straighten out, straighten out, straighten out. What happens with most practitioners? So most people that step onto the mats, they're newer practitioners, but newer practitioners that have enough consistency in the practice. They've been practicing a little bit for a little bit of time, that they start to feel the honeymoon phase. You guys know what I'm talking about. The honeymoon phase of your practice, where you're like, oh, this is so good. Your body's opening. You're feeling stronger. You're feeling flexible. You're feeling clear. Like the good stuff, right? The juice of it. Well, we get into that, and we equate this idea that if I can straighten my arm this much and it feels amazing, if I straighten it that much, it's going to feel amazing, and I'll just continue to straighten it and straighten it and straighten it, and eventually my arm will be pointing down towards the floor and I'll be in bliss, right? That's kind of what we think with it. But the reality is that this joint has a limitation, just like every joint in our body has a limitation. And I will only go to the point that joint hits, this is one of the true actually bone-on-bone compressions, but hits bone-on-bone compression, meaning I get locked here, not through soft tissue, right? Not through tension in the soft tissue, but through compression in the joint itself, right? And so here's the key to this, guys, is that we're all unique. So my elbow, the electron process, this little bony piece that comes right here and slides into that groove, for me, could be a little longer than it is for you. It could have a little hook at the end. That groove, that cavity that it slides into could be shallow or could be deeper. So when I straighten my arm, if I'm not feeling tension, if all of this area is open already and I hit compression, I may hit compression here, whereas somebody that has a different shape to their bone may hit compression here. Literally may hit compression here, and they can't straighten the arm. And it's not because they're tight, it's because they're hitting compression. They cannot go any straighter. Some people, because of the structure of their bones, it's not tension, it's not restriction in the soft tissue, their arm may be at a lower angle. And you've seen that, right? It looks like hyperflexibility. Like, you're double jointed. As we used to say when we were kids, right? You're double jointed if you can do this. But you may see someone like that. It has nothing to do with, well, at that point, compression has nothing to do with practicing more to go deeper. We've hit our limitations. The soft tissue is open, and now we're hitting our limitations in getting compression. Now, here's the key. If I don't understand this principle, if I don't understand this principle, in my practice, I will not understand my limitations. And so in my mind, my limitations are soft tissue related. And I push and push and push and push and keep driving into compression. This is where injury happens. If I don't allow myself to understand the relationship between tension and compression, this principle, injury is on the horizon, absolutely. If I do understand this principle, then I have a deeper understanding of how my body moves, a deeper understanding of where my limitations are so that I can work up to my edge. So if I were to take the same example, the same story I told you in the beginning where Chris was doing his back bend, when he felt that stuck feeling, that was compression for him. He was probably open. We've been practicing a lot at that point, so he was probably open enough. So it wasn't much muscular restriction or soft tissue restriction. He was hitting compression in the joint. And if he understood that that was compression, if he understood, okay, this is my limitation, he would have just held there. Right? A little bit of compression is okay. It's actually can be a healthy thing. When we drive, not realizing that we're hitting that compressive point, that's when we injure ourselves, and that's what happened to Chris. And so one of the keys and what we're going to teach in this 5-day immersion is this idea. So we'll be talking about what it means in the body and understanding the relationship between tension and compression, understanding it in your practice so that you have the power to understand while you're moving, how is my body feeling on a deeper level? And most importantly, as you're practicing and as your body opens, you will know so you don't injure yourself. And what we want to create is a sustainable practice. So we teach principles that create a sustainable practice. We want to be able to do this all the way up until the day we die. We want to be 100 plus years old and still moving our bodies and still being fluid and youthful in our bodies. Right? That's the key. And if we understand these principles, it'll get us there. So 5-day immersion coming up. Jump in, register, join us. It's going to be rocking. We're excited. It's what we love to do. We love to teach in this capacity. So we're gonna give you guys some good stuff. Join us. Register if you haven't already. Jump in. That link is somewhere around here. Chris will throw it in, I'm sure. And we'll see you on the other side. Thanks, guys.